Welcome back, learners. So now, as you have said, our first concept is going to be the visible light. So let's begin. Now, what we need to know here is that natural light comes from luminous objects such as the sun. So the sun is an example of a luminous object, and also a light bulb. So basically, light bulbs or the sun, those ones are regarded as our luminous objects because they give off light. So they supply the light. So now, we say that these objects, they emit light. So basically, they produce light. We know that a light bulb produces light. Even the sun produces light. So any object that is able to emit light is regarded as a luminous object. We also need to know that light travels through space at a speed of 300,000 kilometers per second. So in terms of meters, we should know that this is actually 3 times 10 to the power 8 meters per second, which is 3 and 8 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 meters per second. So in terms of kilometers, it is that. In terms of meters, it is this. So that means now that's a very, 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 very expensive speed fine. If you were to travel at this particular speed, you'd be fined heavily. So light travels at this speed from space, or from the source being the sun, through space up until it reaches the earth. And as we can see, light traveling from the sun, traveling through space into the earth, and it is able to produce or give off the light that enables us to see everything that is around us. So we do know that the sun is our main source of light on earth. We know that without the sun, we don't have the main source of light. A light bulb is a luminous object, and as we know, we're saying that a luminous object, it is one that emits light. So a light bulb is an example of that, and so is the sun, because those two objects, they do emit the light. Furthermore, we see objects because light reflects off them and enters our eyes. So the very same reason why I am able to see you or why you're able to see me, it is because the light is reflected off me or reflected off you, which is why I'm able to see you. Reflected off you and then enters my eye, which is why I'm able to see you. Or reflected off me and then enters your eye, which is why you're able to see me. Now, if the image is upside down, it means that the light from the bottom of the object has arrived at the top of the screen, and the light from the top of the object has reached the bottom of the screen, as shown in this diagram alongside. So now, this then means that the light is traveling in a straight line. And remember, we said that if light is traveling in a straight line, or if something is traveling in a straight line, is said to be rectilinear. So now we're saying that if the image, as you can see, this image is upside down, it tells us that the light from the bottom of the object has arrived at the top of the screen. And then also the light from the top of the object, so we have the bottom of the object and the top of the object there. So now the top of the object has reached the bottom of the screen, as shown in this particular picture that we have here. When we move on to this now, we are saying when you are moving closer to the object, so when you are moving closer to the object that you're looking at, the image appears to be bigger and bigger. So the closer you move to the object, the bigger the image becomes. And the further you move away from the object, the smaller the image becomes. So when you move closer to the object, the image appears bigger, or it appeared bigger, and as shown in the following diagram. So now you're seeing that this image it is going to be now appearing bigger and bigger the more closer and closer you move towards it. Which also means that light must be traveling in a straight line or in straight lines. And remember, if an object is traveling in a straight line or straight lines, it is said to be a rectilinear propagation. Rectilinear means traveling in a straight line, and propagation means moving forward. So it is moving forward in a straight line. Right. So you may be asking yourself that what is a ray diagram? So we're going to use a ray diagram to illustrate the pathway taken by light from the source, and it's going to be reflecting off a surface and back into our eyes. So now, A ray diagram is a drawing that shows the path of light. So the path of light starting from the source being a luminous object, and we said that that can be a light bulb or any object that emits light, can be a light bulb and also can be the sun as the main source of light. So light rays are drawn using straight lines and arrowheads. Remember, the arrowheads are showing direction. If now we are saying that the arrowheads are going to the right or they're facing to the right, so this is going to be the straight line with an arrowhead going to the right, that tells us that the light is going to the right hand side. But then if your arrow is facing to the left, your light is going to the left hand side. So basically the arrowheads are showing the direction. Right. Why are we using straight lines and the arrowheads? We are using these two because we said that light is rectilinear, meaning that it is traveling in a straight line. So this figure or this picture here shows examples of ray diagrams. So the reason why I am able to see you is because the light coming from the source reflects of you coming from, this is going to, let's say this is the sun, coming from the source being the sun, reflects and then bounces off into my eye, and because of that I can be able to see you. The reason why you also are able to see yourself in the mirror, an image of yourself in the mirror, it is because the light coming from the source bounces off the mirror and then back into your eyes, and because of that you can be able to see the image in the mirror. If there was no light, you wouldn't be able to see the image in the mirror. You can go into a dark room and place a mirror somewhere there and try to see if whether you can be able to see your image in that mirror. So remember, without the light, you will not be able to see any image. So without any luminous object, I would not be able to see you or see your image in the mirror. So learners, before we go to the next concept, let's quickly go for an ad break, and I will see you just after this.